Oh, dude, I hate online classes.
Teaching a bunch of them right now.
Yeah.
It's just it makes the questions you get via email much more frustrating
Yeah.
because you no longer like it's much harder to connect in your mind however much you want to. Like you don't really remember their faces. And it's like you just it's just so much easier to create like this distance where they're not like real people that you interact with, they're just like more students asking you annoying questions.
Yeah, man. The social mediaification of higher education.
And it just takes away, oh my God, the emails are insane, dude. Like
Yeah.
I have maybe a few students who have emailed me in an appropriate manner. Like I have so many students that are messaging me just like, hey, I can't see this. And then
Right.
another email will be like, the work for the week. And then a third email will be like, for this class, like, because it's like split between two classes. It's weird.
I mean,
And
that's
I'm
what
just
they
like,
always do.
dude, I'm like, this is not okay.
Yeah, dude, it's like group chat. Everything is group chat. Everything is a feed where you like and share things, like everything. So that includes higher ed now, too.
And I just keep being like, please make sure you adhere to the standards for communications as outlined in the syllabus.
Yeah.
Um,
And they're not going to.
no. And like, I like just, I don't know. I cut this like discussion post I was going to post for the week just because I was like, this is too much grading for me. Like, I can't fucking add another thing to my plate on top of them turning in essays because it's rough draft, so it's going to be a mess. Woo!
Yeah, man. Social media of education, of higher ed. That's what it is. So it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get more like this.
Well, it's just now that, there are a lot more requirements to how you have shit online. And I imagine that even for like in-person instructors, well, especially for in-person instructors, it's got to be like pandemic all over again. I mean, I always kind of did that, but like, it's so much content is online that students are no like it feels like students don't have to be responsible for what happens in class, like because they can just find whatever they need online after. They can find the lecture online or they can, whatever it is.
Oh yeah, man. That's gonna. I mean, that's the growing trend. Everybody who teaches in higher ed knows it. Uh, Increasingly, we take agency away from students, so they're not required to do any work. And if they don't do the work, well, then there's a laundry list of excuses they can pick from, all given to them by the administration. And then it's
It's
the
not even
teacher's fault,
taking agency away from the students. It's just like demanding sort of more hand holding by the teacher.
which I would say takes agency away from the students. Yeah,
And takes responsibility away from the students.
which is, agency.
I mean,
I'm not responsible for this, therefore I have no agency over it.
well, it's just like I'm teaching remedial sections and they're
Oh
fully
yeah.
online. Like there's no face-to-face component. I'm like, that's fine, you know. But I'm also not in a position to be creating the kind of content that would be best suited for them. And overall, I don't think they are best suited for an online learning environment. Like, don't think that students who are at like, between a seventh and 11th grade reading and writing level
It's impressive they're that high, yeah.
should be jumping into college in a fully remote class. But like, I don't know. Maybe I'm like just biased
Do
because
they
that's not did it.
do they still call it remedial in Maryland
This is for Kentucky.
or Kentucky? Yeah.
Well, they don't even.
This is technically it's illegal out here. They don't call it remedial, but there's still remedial classes, but they just don't call it
I
that
mean, I
anymore.
think in Kentucky they still talk about it as like remedial classes because they like know that they're filling a gap.
Right.
They know that they have a lot of issues with the under preparedness in their like, secondary ed system and
Right.
that students just aren't prepared, so they make colleges pick up the slack. And that's how they create college preparedness. So like, I mean, that was just like all of my practicum in grad school was just like about that kind of shit.
Well, that's
But
what I mean.
yeah,
Is
I
like,
don't know what they call them in Maryland, and they don't
well,
call it that on the um like on the site or on the like on PeopleSoft or like whatever on the course catalog. Like
right,
they say, this is designated to students with an ACT score in reading and writing of, this or lower.
right. Yeah, well, what they did is they just eliminated that as a category because remedial classes usually didn't have college credits, so students were paying colleges for no college credits if you took remedial courses,
Yeah,
which is
they do
why
it
they,
differently in Kentucky.
yeah, well, that's why they changed the entire definition now. So now you're taking a remedial class, but they give you credits, and they usually make it like a longer class or something, so you get
Or
four
it's
or
like,
five
yeah,
credits.
yeah, exactly. This is like five
So it's all
credits,
word
but they split
games.
it into
Yeah.
two classes, which is
Yeah.
stupid. It should just be one 5 credit course that's English 101 with a workshop. Like, but instead they split it into two things where it's like you get two separate grades and it's dumb.
Yeah. Well,
So
as
yeah, they
we've
just talk about it
mentioned,
as a workshop that you take concurrently with the regular lecture.
yeah, as we've mentioned on this podcast several times, like it's the reason it sounds so silly is because there is no actual like evidence to support any of the steps we've taken. There's nothing to support this structure of the class. It was just made up one day, and now that's just what it is. And gets butts in seats. That's all that matters.
Well, retention is everything. Oh, I haven't been
Not even
recording.
retention.
I'm recording now. I wasn't before. I didn't know we started.
Where
But
all they
yeah,
care
man.
is the initial payment
Well,
that
and the
they don't
next
withdraw in
payment,
the first 3 weeks. That's all that
and that
matters.
they care that their retention numbers look good so that they get funding. And that's the
Not
whole game
even.
right
I mean,
now.
dude, the graduation rates at some even MFA programs. I mean, a lot of them are atrocious. Like you get people dropping out after a year.
Yeah, well, I imagine at,
I mean,
community
yeah,
colleges, it's way, way more, right?
yeah, of
Like,
course.
I mean, I like teaching this class. Like, it can be great, but it just makes it more frustrating because you're online and you can't do that one-on-one interaction the same way. And because they're all like workers and that's why they all like picked an online class or like they have other shit going on. And so it's like I can't expect them to be available for that one-on-one time either. Like I can't demand that they have like video time with me. Or I don't think I can. Like, I mean, that seems, I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I'm trying my best.
Yeah, I wouldn't demand it at all. Yeah, that's definitely. It's all gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse at this point. At least in terms of, and then yeah, and then they just screw over the teachers more.